It is a wild year for movies, and tonight we are here to talk about all of them, or at least most of them, here on 20,000 Films Under the Sea. What is cracking, everybody, and welcome into another episode of 20,000 Films Under the Sea. I am your director, Ernell Pearson, alongside nobody, funny enough. Devin could not be here this evening, but we may or may not be doing things a little bit differently going forward, so just kind of keep that in mind. You might see some changes in how 20,000 Films goes forward in this content, and this might be a little bit of a little tasty taste of what you guys can expect as we go forward, because let's be real, Daddy likes talking about movies no matter what. Anyways, I don't need to hold up anything for you guys. Nothing's really been crazy. We have lots of stuff we're going to be talking about. But first and foremost, this is 20,000 Films Under the Sea, your choice for all the nerdy pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you want each and every week. If you want to keep the lights on and cameras rolling, you can head on over to patreon.com/goodkrakenpods, where you can submit questions and topics to the show. You get exclusive content, and you have early access to episodes before they go live on podcast and video services wherever you like to watch or listen. But if you've emptied your pockets for the latest and greatest in entertainment, that is totally cool with us. You can join the GK community at our Discord channel by clicking the link down here in our description section below, and wherever the other links are. I'm sure that you will find them. And then follow and subscribe to us here on YouTube, if you are watching on YouTube, of course. And then subscribing to our podcast channel if you like listening to the audio format of this instead, by searching for 20,000 Films Under the Sea, and I will be right there waiting for you. Also, please leave a review there. Reviews help so much in trying to push podcasts out there to new listeners and such. And let's be real, it's 2026. We've been doing this for now, as you guys might know, 5 years. That's crazy. Crazy talk, 5 years. And listen, we're trying to make the family grow. You know what I mean? The more the family can grow, the more content you guys get, and everyone's happy. You know what I'm saying? No problems from there. Anyways, without any further ado, let's get into some director's commentary, everybody. First and foremost, we got some new episodes of Good Kraken under the Good Kraken Network. Firstly, we have the newest episode of Songs from the Abyss, our D&D podcast. I believe that is, I can't remember what session it is, but the episode name, if you will, give me a quick second here, that is actually session 31, titled A Little Bit of Magic. Our guys get to meet their new friend in the last episode and find out some pretty cool things about their new friend in this one. It is a good time. Definitely don't miss that. Our D&D stuff is a love child of ours. We love doing D&D. It is probably arguably our favorite content to do right now. It is such a good time, and we don't want you guys to miss that. We also have a new episode of The Shipwreck Show, and that is Why We Love Being Nerds over there. And Xander got to talk to us a little bit about the reasons why we still cherish nerd culture in our ripe adulthoods. Along with that, Garrick and DJ got to do their newest episode of Death Ratio, where they got to talk about what is going on at Xbox. If you are a video game fan, you might know that the top shots over at Xbox, Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond, both are no longer with the company. Love that for us. You know what I mean? Also on board, you guys might know this, and you may not know this, but I'm sure that you will find out in some kind of way, even if it's just me mentioning it right now. This is Good Kraken Fest officially, and if you're watching this on YouTube or on our podcast services, this is not the end of Good Kraken Fest. We celebrated all week long, doing our usual stuff, but more importantly, we had a stream that we did on Wednesday where we got together, me, Garrick, Devin, and Xander, and we played some RV there yet, and celebrated live with all of you guys over on Twitch. We got a huge response from people that wholeheartedly said that they miss us doing streams. So that is going to be a conversation that we have about whether or not we will be bringing back splash damage routinely, or some form of it in some kind of weird way. But we're going to kind of have to work out the logistics of that. Anyways, that will be up on YouTube if you're watching this now, tomorrow, Sunday. It will be out. You guys can be able to watch it there, catch up with us. Alongside of that, though, me and Garrick have been playing Reanimal to re-roll out splash damage, our video game content, play-alongs, if you will. And you can go ahead and watch a couple of those episodes. We will also be putting out a new episode of that as well for you guys to watch. It's just a quick 30-40 minute bangers. You guys can go watch that there if you are super interested in Reanimal and don't necessarily want to play it yourself. You watch those first couple of episodes. Let us play it for you and help you decide if that game is going to be worth playing. And that is going to be all of the director's commentary that I have for today. But now we will go ahead and move into the monologue.
You want answers?
I think I'm entitled.
You want answers?
I want the truth!
You can't handle the truth!
Here on the monologue, I tell you a little bit about some movies and TV shows that are coming out within the next week from today's date of recording, Friday, February 27th, to and through Friday, March 6th, next Friday. And just kind of fill you in on some of the bigger bangers that are coming out. So you guys are in the know as well as me, because honestly, I go and look up these things and I'm like, oh shit, I forgot that was even coming out. So yeah, we can share in this moment together. Wink, wink, you know what I mean? First up, Friday, February 27th. That is today. Firstly, we have the release of Scream 7 in theaters, a movie that me and Devin wholeheartedly decided to not go and give our money to. I mean, like, listen, if you hadn't heard, very nice young lady from the prior Scream movies. I think her name was Melissa Barrera. Unfortunately, got removed from Scream, or she might have quit. I can't quite remember what it was. Either way, they might have removed her. I think they might have fired her, actually, because she was speaking openly about the terrible, terrible shit that was happening in Palestine. They canned her. There's a lot of people that feel a lot of ways. We personally were kind of like, yeah, we don't want to be involved with that. So we didn't go see that or review that today, which is fine by me, to be completely honest with you. Anyways, also next up, we have In the Blink of an Eye. What the fuck was this again? All it says is 3 intersecting storylines spanning thousands of years explore the nature of love, hope, and connection. And this movie has an official really rough 21% on Rotten Tomatoes. I don't like checking Rotten Tomatoes, so let's go look at Metacritic. Yeah, Metacritic looks like it's not doing much better at a 37. So maybe this won't be one that you'll want to see. Maybe I shouldn't even be recommending it. Maybe I'll vet these from now on going forward. Anyways, let's move on. On the TV side, Monarch, Legacy of Monsters Season 2 officially dropped on Apple TV. We're seeing all sorts of people talk about this. I don't know if the reception is positive or negative, but I know that we watched the shit out of the first season, and I'm sure we will continue to do that with this season because I like really big monsters and really big monster things. Should I be phrasing like that? Yeah, probably. I also like big monsters in movies destroying cities and stuff because that's just generally pretty rad, to be honest with you. Next up, Sunday, March 1st, we have the return of the Yellowstone spinoffs here with Marshals Season 1 dropping on CBS. Marilyn, my boo, my other half, got me into Yellowstone. And even though that I'm not a, like, yeehaw nerd, the show's pretty damn good. It's pretty damn good. There's something about that Rip guy that just does it. I'm sure someone out there agrees. I'm sure a lot of people out there agree with me. I also really like the other spin-off shows they've done. I think it was like 1921 or some shit, and then like 1776 or fucking 280. I don't fucking know anymore. But those are also actually pretty damn good too. So I have no doubt that this show might end up kicking ass as well too. Wednesday, March 4th, we have Young Sherlock Season 1 dropping on Amazon. I'm seeing trailers of the show in random places. It's not really speaking to me, which is a bummer because I really like Sherlock Holmes. But this gives like Sherlock Holmes, Teen Wolf. Let's move on. Thursday, March 5th, we have the return of Ted, the TV show, with season 2 dropping. I loved this show. I love the movie too, actually. The first season was hilarious. I love this little backstory that they're giving us on this. I wish they would continue on that. I'm happy that they are continuing on that, excuse me. And yeah, I'm excited to watch this one too. So definitely, although there is some news that kind of came out today about Peacock and Netflix and Warner Brothers. Probably end up talking about that a little bit, maybe next week. We'll see how that goes. Anyways, Friday, March 6th, Hoppers drops in theaters. That is a new animated film about some animals that are playing basketball, if I remember correctly. It looks rad. And then The Bride drops in theaters. That is Christian Bale and Maggie, I think it is. No, Jessie Buckley, actually. Yes. The young lady who plays in Hamnet, I believe, is The Bride. And wow, she's actually, I mean, hey, she plays the part. She's in quite a few things, actually. I didn't even realize it. But also, Julianne Hough is in this movie. And, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? And Jake Gyllenhaal, apparently, he's on the cast list too. Wow. Yeah. Anyways, I know Devin is super anticipating this movie. He was hyping this movie like crazy after he had seen the trailer. I'm sure we will end up probably reviewing this in some capacity or another because that movie looks it actually does look pretty good. It does look pretty good. Next up is Peaky Blinders, The Immortal Man, dropping in theaters. It drops on Netflix on March 20th. I'm not a Peaky Blinders guy. Most of what I understand about Peaky Blinders is that super sick monologue, which, funny enough, that super sick monologue that Tom Hardy has with like the guy, you know what I mean? You guys know what I'm talking about. Peaky Blinders, the Peaky Blinders guy, obviously Cillian Murphy, Sicilian. I say Killian. It's a way cooler way to pronounce it. That monologue was super dope, fucking awesome. But I'm sure that there's some people that are really excited about this movie. It's just I've only ever really recognized Peaky Blinders from like the dudes on Facebook that like share Peaky Blinders screenshots with some stupid ass quote that's like, "Don't push a man or he's gonna push back." You know what I mean? Like Facebook algorithm t-shirts and shit. Cringy. But I'm sure the show is dope. I've heard great things about the show. I just a little bit of a sour taste, if you ask me. And then a movie I'm actually pretty stoked for, and I'm sure a couple of the other guys are stoked for too. War Machine drops on Netflix. That is our wonderful and very favorite wonderful actor, Alan Ritchson. Listen, he kills it in Rager. He kills it in everything else that he's done so far. Why wouldn't we have him in the military fighting a giant robot? Who doesn't want that? And it's Netflix as hell, to be honest. Yeah, this movie's gonna be dope. Are you kidding me? It's gonna be super sick. And Dennis Quaid's in it too, so that's pretty cool as well. And Jai Courtney, actually. Oh shit, and Asai Morales. This movie's got a hell of a cast. Good on you, Netflix. And that is going to be all of the monologue for tonight. But as we move forward here, let's talk about some cool stuff for the remainder of the year here on The Final Cut.
Oh, you want to hit people with garbage cans. Now I got to cut you.
Tonight on The Final Cut, I'm going to be talking about my most anticipated films of 2026. This was going to be an episode where me and Devin would go back and forth and such. Now that Devin can't be here, I get an opportunity to kind of just go down a list and talk to you about some movies I think look dope. You know what I'm saying? I have a little article. I guess it's an article from Rotten Tomatoes. Kind of listing off the movies that are coming off this year, at least some of the bigger bangers. Now it is February 27th, so let's go ahead and just start with Scream 7 coming out. Yeah, you know what I mean? We'll just slide right by that bad boy. March, Conmoth, we just talked about earlier. The Bride comes out. That's Christian Bale, Jesse Buckley, Jake Gyllenhaal, Peter Sarsgaard, not Skarsgård. Sarsgaard, and Penelope Cruz, all starring in that. For anybody that doesn't know, The Bride is a Frankenstein movie, but it's like a 1930s Chicago themed Frankenstein story, where Frankenstein and his bride, if you will, are total badasses. I mean, like, listen, it's a pretty rad plot, if you will. I mean, like a genius idea. But on top of that, though, Maggie Gyllenhaal is directing this. And wait, hold on. No, is that Jesse Buckley? I need to come down on this. Is that Jesse Buckley? Because it looks like Maggie Gyllenhaal. I might be tripping. I think the internet's giving me incorrect information. No, but that doesn't really look like Maggie Gyllenhaal. Now that I look at her, Maggie Gyllenhaal looks very different from when she was in The Dark Knight. Anyways, it doesn't matter that much. Anyways, this is going to be a cool movie. I am excited for it. It's going to be cool. Hoppers, mentioned that earlier too. That is directed by Daniel Chong, starring John Hamm, Bobby Moynihan, and Piper Curda. And it looks like this is a Pixar film that is actually coming out. Follows an animal enthusiast named Maybelle, who, in an effort to communicate with animals, transfers her consciousness to a robot. John Hamm and SNL alum Bobby Moynihan have also joined the voice cast. As a little brief synopsis there. That sounds great. I'm stoked for that. My daughter's gonna love this movie. I'm excited to watch it with her, to be honest with you. I've had a little bit of a softer spot for Disney and Pixar stuff since becoming a father, especially. And man, some of these movies hit. You guys probably heard me rant on about how good Elio was, and how good especially The Wild Robot was. Jesus Christ, did we cry to that movie. Yeah, I love this stuff, and I'm only loving it more as I get older. Not enough to get a Disney tattoo, though. That's when it gets weird. I might get a Kingdom Hearts tattoo, though. Don't judge me. Don't judge me. Next up, we have a movie called Reminders of Him, coming out March 13th, directed by Vanessa Caswell, starring Tyreek Withers, Rudy Pankow, and Micah Monroe. This is a Colleen Hoover adaptation coming to screen after the release of It Ends With Us. It was no surprise that another novel was going to be adapted. Hoover herself will be leading the project, having co-written the screenplay. She's also a producer on the film. I don't know what that means, to be honest with you. I didn't watch It Ends With Us. I believe my boo, Marilyn, was trying to get me to watch that. Or maybe we started it and didn't finish it. I can't remember. But I know that this movie is going to be for somebody. So that'll be a cool time. Now, a movie that I am actually very excited for, Project Hail Mary, comes out March 20th, 2026. This is directed by Phil Lord and Christopher Miller, starring Ryan Gosling, Sandra Hüller, and Lionel Boyce. I haven't watched the trailer for this movie yet, so let's talk a little bit here. Another high-stakes sci-fi adaptation is headed to the big screen, this time from best-selling author Andy Weir. Project Hail Mary stars Ryan Gosling as Ryland Grace, an astronaut who wakes up alone on a space station with no memory of who he is or why he's there. As fragments of his memory return, he discovers he's on a mission to the Tau Ceti? I'm not an astronaut. Someone call Neil deGrasse Tyson. The Tau Ceti solar system to stop a cosmic event that's already pushed Earth into the early stages of a new ice age. Yeah, we'll already talked about the director. I mean, listen, Ryan Gosling's good in everything. I don't think I've seen a single Ryan Gosling role that he was not good in. Even Remember the Titans, you know what I'm saying, when he was a teenager. Ryan Gosling's great. And sci-fi with Ryan Gosling, even better. I was a little iffy on the name, but now that I know that it's like a book to movie adaptation, I'm a little bit more forgiving of it because now like the name makes a little bit more sense. But I'm really excited for this movie. Humble, grieving sci-fi is some of my favorite sci-fi rather than like high action sci-fi, which I'm like cool with. It's not that I hate it. I just think that I have a bigger attachment to sci-fi that is about the human condition. And this movie speaks like that to me, but I do need to watch the trailer still. So maybe I could be completely speaking out of turn. Don't judge me. Okay. Don't judge me. Next up is Ready or Not 2, Here I Come, releasing on March 20th, 2026. Directors are Matt Bettinelli-Olpin and Tyler Gillette. I did not watch Ready or Not. I don't know if I plan on watching Ready or Not. It did not look that great to me. However, I'm hearing it actually was a pretty decent time. So I might have to try to maybe give it a shot. But it's a sequel to Ready or Not. And that's for somebody. That is for somebody. Nextly, in April, we are looking at the Super Mario Galaxy movie, directed by Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelenic, coming out on April 1st. Obviously, you guys, if you watched the Mario movie that came out, that was starring Chris Pratt, Anya Taylor-Joy, Charlie Day, Keegan-Michael Key, and Jack Black. And I mean, let's be real. That movie fucking rocked. It rocked. It was so good. I have no doubt that this movie is going to slap too. My kid watched it. My nephew watched it. Our family watched it. Everyone here on Good Kraken watched it. We all loved it. The movie was amazing. There's no way that this movie is going to be bad. On the other hand, a movie that is coming out soon after, April 17th, a movie that might actually maybe end up being bad. I don't like putting that bad juju out there, but it almost looks cool. My problem is the people attached to it. And I don't mean the actors or the director or anything. This is being directed by Lee Cronin, and it is Lee Cronin's The Mummy. This is starring Jack Rayner, Laia Costa, and Veronica Falcone. I just see the little hash marks above the O's there. Yeah, Lee Cronin is set to put a chilling new spin on The Mummy with an upcoming supernatural horror reimagining of the classic franchise. I don't know how they plan on doing this, especially because like the plot's like completely different. I don't know if this is referring to like the original Mummy. Like from like 1932. I looked it up, to be honest with you. Post-production editing. Don't judge me. The Mummy, 1932. It might be the same plot from that. I don't want to take the time to look it in. But from what we know so far, the story follows a family whose lives are upended after encountering an ancient mummy, setting off a terrifying chain of events. My issue is that this movie is attached to Blumhouse, I think. I'm looking it up again. Don't judge me. Yes, Lee Cronin's The Mummy. James Wan and Jason Blum produced the movie through the respective production banners. But here's the thing, though, is that Blumhouse Productions right? Like they have some movies that I think I really, really like, but they have a lot of movies that are like really just genuinely not all that great. However, Atomic Monster, James Wan kills it. So it's like this weird 50-50 thing where like this movie could be outstanding or it could be an absolute heaping pile of dog shit. And we're going to find that out the hard way together as a family here on Good Kraken. On April 24th, we have Apex coming out. That is starring Charlize Theron, love her, Taron Egerton, and Erica Bana, being directed by Baltazar Kormakur. I think that's how you pronounce that. But it is Charlize Theron doing the action hero gig once more. It looks like she is a grieving woman on a trek through the Australian wilderness who finds herself targeted by a ruthless killer. That is who Taron Egerton is. I did see a brief trailer for this. It looks pretty rad. I like a good thriller, to be honest with you. Really like a good thriller. On April 24th, we have Michael, a biopic film about Michael Jackson, directed by Antoine Fuqua, starring Jafar Jackson, Nia Long, Coleman Domingo, Laura Harrier, and Lorenz Tate. I mean, I don't really need to talk to you about the plot, but it's the story of Michael Jackson. You know what I mean? For one, Jafar Jackson looks the part. So, I mean, like, that's pretty fucking rad. Two, I will watch anything with Coleman Domingo with a smile on my face. Everything he's in. Ever since I saw that man on that one show. Oh, why did I forget? Euphoria. That's what it was. Coleman Domingo is easily like my favorite character that ever happened on Euphoria. I love him in everything he's been in ever since then. I'm glad that show put him on the map because I need more Coleman everywhere, all the time. Phenomenal actor. Next, we have in May, we're moving to May now, May 1st, a movie called Animal Friends that is being directed by Peter Atencio, starring Ryan Reynolds, Aubrey Plaza, Jason Momoa, Vince Vaughn, Dan Levy, and Addison Rae. But here's the thing. Apparently, it is a live action and animated hybrid movie put together, slammed together here, that not a lot of people really know about. We know that has this like ridiculously star-studded cast, but we don't really know like the plot of this movie. There's not even like a photo with this thing on this page here, so I can't really tell you a whole bunch about it. But I can tell you with that cast alone, I'm down to clown. Let's do it. On May 1st as well, we also have the return of The Devil Wears Prada, with The Devil Wears Prada 2, being directed by David Frankel, starring once again Anne Hathaway, Meryl Streep, Emily Blunt, The King, Stanley Tucci, and Kenneth Branagh. Whatever. Anyways, The Devil Wears Prada. I mean, come on. Legendary movie. Who doesn't want a sequel for that? I actually, to be honest with you, I don't think anybody really asked for a sequel for this. But it might be one of those movies that a sequel might actually work pretty well. I guess we'll see. I'll be watching it. And then next up, we actually just recently got a new trailer for this bad boy. It is Mortal Kombat 2, which drops on May 15th, directed by Simon McQuaid. Okay, sure. It is starring Hiroyuki Sanada, Louis Tan, Jessica McNamee, Carl Urban, Tadanobu Asano. Nailed it. McCad Brooks. And listen, I know the last Mortal Kombat movie wasn't perfect. It was not perfect. Okay? We can acknowledge that. However, it was pretty fucking cool. And this one looks even better. I'll be honest with you. I had some reservations about Carl Urban playing as Johnny Cage. But after seeing these couple of trailers, it might actually kick a lot of ass. As long as we can move forward from this Cole Young character that was in the last movie, Louis Tan, Tan, one of the two. I don't think a lot of people were happy about that character and his quite literal plot armor. So we'll have to see. I'll have to see what happens with that. A movie I'm sure a lot of us are excited for, especially if you've been keeping up with the Star Wars world. Next on May 22nd, we have Star Wars, The Mandalorian, and Grogu. Of course, directed by Jon Favreau. And of course, starring Pedro Pascal, Jeremy Allen White, who's actually going to be in this, alongside Sigourney Weaver. Man, I love The Mandalorian. That show is phenomenal. I will watch anything they throw at us about the Mando, if you will, Din Djarin, if you're a Star Wars nerd, and Grogu. Any story that they have together, love it. That first season, cried my damn eyes out. Cried them out, just right out of my head. And yeah, I hope that that this movie really holds up to that crowd. I'm sure it will. They've been making this movie for a while now, and I'm sure that they understand the assignment. Jon Favreau has been awesome in the Star Wars universe and making Star Wars content, especially coming off the back of some very weird, off-putting audience reception to some recent prior Star Wars content. But we have high hopes around here. High hopes. Next up, we have in June 5th, 4 days before the best holiday of the year, June 9th, which is my birthday. We have Masters of the Universe, the live action remake adaptation, I guess you could say. Directed by Travis Knight. This is starring Alison Brie, Nicholas Galitzine, and Camila Mendez. I probably don't need to really tell you what Master of the Universe is. Maybe Google that one. That's gonna be a long story. However, the movie is also filming Idris Elba and Jared Leto as Skeletor. Yeah. I hope that you might share similar feelings about Jared Leto as we do here. Especially me. I'm real tired of this guy. Listen, I loved him in 30 Seconds to Mars. Okay? He's a phenomenal singer. Love that for him. He's a fucking weird actor. I don't know what else to tell you. I wish they would stop casting this guy in fucking everything. But you know what? Unfortunately, I'm a movie shill. So we're going to end up probably going and seeing this and catching a review for it. So sorry, guys. Don't know what to tell you. You know what I mean? Nextly, on June 12th, 3 days after the greatest American holiday, we have a movie called Disclosure Day. And that is the newest Steven Spielberg movie. This starring Emily Blunt, Josh O'Connor, Colin Firth, Eve Hewson, Coleman Domingo, my king, and Wyatt Russell, who is phenomenal as well. He's the plot line here says, while we still don't know much about the plot, we do know that it will be a sci-fi film about a UFO starring an A-list ensemble. So really, the only thing we know is that there's a UFO. Great. After that, and we've been seeing some trailers for this rolling out recently, arguably some risque trailers with some risque jokes in it, but it'll make more sense here in a second. Scary Movie 6 is coming out this year. That is also on June 12th, being directed by Michael Titties. Why'd they do that, man? Why did Bears let that happen? Why'd they do that? Okay, to be fair, it's not, I don't think it's actually titties. I think it's Tedess. Tides even. I might be super wrong about this, but it's spelled as titties without the second I. I'm sorry, I'm a child. Okay, I'm a little bit of a child about this. This is once again starring the Wayans brothers, Marlon and Sean Wayans, as well as Dave Sheridan, and I'm sure a bunch of other casts are going to be in this movie too. Scary movie. You know what I mean? I used to love these movies back in high school. I didn't think they were good. I don't think anybody thought these movies were good. But they were funny as shit back in high school. You know what I mean? So we can only hope that maybe, just maybe in a perfect world, they might be able to pull something off here. Something to keep the giggles around, if you will. Let's try not to take ourselves too seriously when we go see that movie. I'm sure they're going to say some things. Yeah. And then June 19th, we have Toy Story 5 being directed by Andrew Stanton, starring Tim Allen and Blake Clark. Man, they're still making these. They're still making these. The only thing they have here is 15 years after the last Toy Story movie, the dynamic duo of Buzz and Woody. I almost said Buzzy. Titties. The dynamic duo are back in Toy Story 5 to face a new challenge when they realize that children are replacing their toys with gadgets and must spring into action. Again, I don't know what that means either, but it's a Toy Story adventure. You know what I mean? It's not really supposed to make sense to us adults. You know, we're here. We're just here for the ride. But then a movie that I'm sure all of us here at Good Kraken are excited for, and hopefully you guys at home are too. Supergirl drops on June 26th. That is being directed by Craig Gillespie, excuse me. That is Millie Alcock, Eve Ridley, Matthias Schoenaerts, David Krumholtz, and Emily Beacom. I mean, this is Supergirl, following right off of the tale of Superman, if you will, the counterpart, if I may. And we find out Supergirl is Superman's cousin. This is a direct spinoff of that movie. So we will see where that goes. I really like Millie Alcock as Supergirl, and I think Kara Zor-El. Excuse me. For my nerds out there, Kara. I'm sure she's going to play a phenomenal Supergirl. This movie actually looks really, really rad. We all know about DC and, you know, all the stuff that's going on there. They might have a chance to bring the DCU, excuse me, back onto the map and recoup themselves after the catastrophe that was the prior DCEU. Now being led by James Gunn, we could see some potentially really great stories come to fruition here. June 26th, we have Jackass 5. I mean, it's Jackass. There's really not much else to say. What I do know is that apparently Bam Margera signed a contract to return to Jackass. And this is the movie that he is supposedly a part of again. We'll see. We'll see how that goes. I'm sure we might get some updates between now and then. We shall see. But obviously, Johnny Knoxville and the rest of the Jackass gang are here doing their usual Jackass gang stuff. Not much else to say there. Here in July, we have a new Minions movie. We'll just go ahead and slide right by that. July 10th, we have the live-action Moana movie. Wow, I didn't even realize we had a full trailer for this. I'm seeing a trailer here, and I don't know if I want to do myself the injustice. This movie is starring Catherine Lagaya, Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, if you smell what he was cooking, Rena Owen, John Toohey, and Frankie Adams. A lot of howly names there. For my fellow Hawaiians, I know what I'm talking about. Okay. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. I mean, like they could do okay. They could do okay. I think that a lot of us have lost a lot of faith in the live action Disney stuff. They've had a couple of decent ones, and I think that there's still some hope. I don't think Moana is going to be it. So I'm not holding my breath, but we shall see when that time comes. Obviously, I'm going to do a review of that for you guys. Nextly, on July 17th, we have The Odyssey, which is the seminal Christopher Nolan movie that is to come, starring Matt Damon, Zendaya, Tom Holland, Anne Hathaway, Mia Goth, Charlize Theron, John Bernthal, and Robert Pattinson. Holy shit, what a cast. I mean, Christopher Nolan is amazing. Everything he does is amazing. Everything with his name on it is amazing. However, I am actually a pretty big fan of the book, Homer's Odyssey. I'm really excited to see how they make this movie come to life. I think that if anybody has the chops to make it both really, really cool and visually stunning, it's going to be Christopher Nolan, right? Like, I mean, like without a doubt, it's going to be rad to some extent or another. I have seen some concerning backlash from people regarding the trailer and some of the like armor and stuff and conversations about like authenticity and shit. I don't fucking care. Okay. I really don't fucking care. Most of these movies that are high fantasy or like even like historic Greek history stuff. Listen, talking about Greek people, they're white. The actors are white. You know what I mean? Don't take it too seriously. Just get sucked into it. Have some fun. You know what I mean? This movie's gonna be dope. It's gonna be dope. I'm excited for it. Another movie I'm really excited for. July 24th, we are seeing Evil Dead Burn. You might know this. I'm a huge Evil Dead fan. And I'm really excited to see where this goes. It is being directed by Sebastian Vanacek, I think is how they pronounce that. Gunter Doohan. That can't be a real name. Doohan? It's a real name. Lucianne Buchanan and Suhaila Yaqub are starring this one. I'm excited. Coming off of Evil Dead Rise, which was phenomenal. It's not perfect, don't get me wrong, but it's phenomenal. I'm really excited to see what they plan on doing with this one. All of the Evil Deads, listen, I love the original Evil Dead movies for their like slapstick humor and like all that stuff too. But 2013 Evil Dead is one of my favorite movies of all time. Generally speaking, Evil Dead Rise did a really good job of recreating that super gritty, visceral, fucked up world that Evil Dead a la 2013 had created. And I think Evil Dead Burn is following suit in that trail because they realize how many people like that more horror focused tone of Evil Dead. And yeah, I mean, let's be real. This movie is either going to be sick or it's going to be fine. You know what I mean? I don't think it's going to be any worse than that. Can't really get any worse than that, right? Right? July 31st, Spider-Man Brand New Day comes out. Whew, man, we're gonna have to have some conversations about that one, I'm sure. That's gonna be directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, the director of Shang-Chi, and some other really, really great pieces of content that Destin Daniel Cretton has done, including the most recent Wonder Man, which is really, really good too. I mean, this is Tom Holland's Spider-Man. And that is technically our MCU Spider-Man. I like Tom Holland as Spider-Man, and I'm excited to see how they move forward. And I'm sure you guys will hear us talk a lot about this as we get closer. We'll be doing some like Marvel focused content to kind of wrap us into the new phase. The new movies that are coming out. This can be cool, especially coming off of Daredevil Born Again Season 2 coming out. There's some things we're hearing about that in close proximity to Spider-Man Brand New Day's plot. We will see how things go from there. Goddamn, I love Marvel Comics and all their characters. In August 14th, specifically, we have Paw Patrol, the Dino movie. Oh, man, Paw Patrol. Oh, we're not going to talk about that one. Next, we have Insidious, The Bleeding World, drops on August 21st, being directed by Jacob Chase and starring Brandon Perea and Lynn Shay. From what I understand, this is a far, far back prequel to the Insidious movies. Because in Insidious, The Red Door, they had shown some like prior early life stuff between those two main characters. And I think they are probably going to now continue, Jesus Christ, the Insidious story by actually going back and restarting it with two new fresh actors that we actually see. I'm pretty sure these are the actors in the flashbacks of the most recent Insidious movie. Sure, I guess, sure. I don't think anybody asked for this, but sure, it's fine. Next, we have a Resident Evil movie. And now here's the deal. There's not going to be anything anybody really knows about this. What we do know is that Zach Kreger, the director of Barbarian, is on this, as well as the newest hit movie Weapons. He's mostly known also too from the YouTube channel The Whitest Kids You Know. He is flagshipping this movie, and from what I understand is that the studio is giving him a lot of free reign to kind of do whatever the fuck he wants to do with this movie. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but I'm sure we will find out. It is noted as starring with Paul Walter Hauser, Austin Abrams, and Zach Cherry so far. I'll tell you, I hope if we're going to do anything that they give us a really, really cool sort of not slice of life. I guess you could say like a Resident Evil story from the perspective of regular people rather than the bombastic Capcom anime fuckery that is the video games of Resident Evil. It would be really cool to see that perspective. I think that would serve the film side of Resident Evil a lot better than the last run of Resident Evil movie franchise films that we got. Yeesh, you know what I mean, unfortunately. And then next on October 22nd, we are slated for a movie called Digger that is starring Tom Cruise and being directed by Alejandro G. Inarritu. I think it's Iñárritu. That could be it. This is a Warner Brothers and Legendary Entertainment movie. Didn't really say a whole lot besides it's a quote unquote a comedy of catastrophic proportions. I mean, I love when Tom Cruise does anything funny. We saw his role in Tropic Thunder, and that is just impeccable. So if they're actually going to give us a like comedy and not like a divine comedy, you know, like sometimes they say, then this could actually be super fucking great, and I'm excited for it. Especially Warner Brothers and Legendary Entertainment. They've made a lot of very worrisome movies, but they've made some pretty damn good ones too. And I think I feel good about it. Then we have another animated film. This time it is The Legend of Aang, The Last Airbender. An animated film, not a live action one. Thank God. They're going to have to really pay their dues on Netflix before they start doing that. This is being directed by Lauren Montgomery, starring Eric Nam, Dave Bautista, and Dante Bosco. Thank God they're bringing Dante Bosco back for this. Holy shit, that is good to know. Yeah, I mean, it's The Last Airbender. You know what I mean? That is probably going to rip. I have not watched all of Last Airbenders, so I don't know if I will actually end up going and seeing this. But I'm sure Devin and Garrick, maybe even Xander, might be interested in this one. So hang tight. We'll find out. And then next up on October 16th, we have that Street Fighter movie. Ooh, sheesh. Here's the thing, though. We saw the casting for this movie. And the casting for this movie is... what the fuck? The bigger issue is that Danny and Michael Filippo, who are the directors of the wonderful Talk to Me and Bring Her Back, were originally going to be directing this movie, and they dropped off. and were replaced with Kitao Sakurai, the person who did the movie Bad Trip. And I would wholeheartedly, with confidence, say that is probably the starting point of where this all crumbles to pieces. Yeah, I don't have a lot of high hope about this movie, especially after seeing the casting. Especially after seeing the trailer after the casting. And I guess we'll see. I guess we'll see where it goes. November 6th, 2026, we're getting a new Cat in the Hat animated film. I don't know how it's going to hold up against Mike Myers' Cat in the Hat, but I guess we'll see. That was being directed by Erica Rivenoja and Alessandro Carloni, starring Bill Hader, Quinta Brunson, and Bowen Yang. I mean, it's Cat in the Hat. Do I really need to say anything else? And then 2026, we are getting a sequel for Godzilla Minus Zero. Whew, goddamn, that was okay. That was a movie. And I'm excited to see a sequel for that shit. You know what I'm saying? God, man, that movie was really good. November 20th, we are lined up for The Hunger Games, Sunrise on the Reaping. That's directed by Francis Lawrence, starring McKenna Grace, Jesse Plemons, and Ralph Fiennes. We actually watched the last Hunger Games movie and reviewed it, and it's not bad. Like it definitely had some work that needed to be done to it, but my thing is, I actually am okay with the Hunger Games movies. Obviously, everyone has spoken at length about the blatant ripoff that was, the original Hunger Games story. You know what I mean? But I mean, like, the movies are fine, and the books. Actually, the books are atrocious, but the movies are fine. They make the books come to life for the people that did like the books. Sure, fine. Violent Night 2 is getting a sequel on December 4th. That is the David Harbour action hero Santa film being directed by Tommy Wirkola. If you watch that, I'm sure that's there for you. Good luck for you. We also have Jumanji 3 coming out December 11th. Cannot believe they're making a sequel to that. That is starring Dwayne Johnson, Kevin Hart, Jack Black, and Karen Gillan. And I mean, do we really need to say much more about that either? December 18th, Avengers Doomsday comes out. That's being directed by Anthony Russo and Joe Russo, the Russo brothers themselves that were responsible for Infinity War and Endgame. I'm not going to dive too far into this because I think it goes without saying. But, man, I'm so excited for the Avengers to come back. God damn, that's going to be good. And then to end off our list here of anticipated movies to be excited about in 2026, we have finally ending off the year on the same week, kind of within the same week. Dune Messiah drops on Christmas Day, is what they're saying. That is directed by Denis Villeneuve, Timothée Chalamet, Zendaya, Anya Taylor-Joy, and Florence Pugh are all starring in this. My queen, Florence Pugh. Love her. I mean, it's Dune. It's Dune. Are you kidding me? Last two Dune movies are perfect. They're perfect, honestly. Be real with you here. They're perfect. We're going to see how this caps off. It's going to be a good time. Very good time. Anyways, lots of really, really good movies are coming out this year. I'm excited to go watch all of them. I'm excited for you guys to watch all of them. We can talk about it mutually, all that good stuff. It's going to be a good time. There's going to be lots of content to be had this year. 2026 is going to be a banger year for movies, and I'm sure that you guys feel the same, but we can talk about that in the future, because this has been 20,000 Films Under the Sea, your choice for all the nerdy pop media news, reviews, and discussions that you wanted each and every week. Do not forget to join the GK community down at our Discord channel by clicking the link down here in our description section below. But then don't forget to follow and subscribe here on YouTube if you are watching on YouTube. But if you're listening on your podcast service of choice, please look up 20,000 Films Under the Sea if you have not already. And then make sure that you leave a review there and subscribe. Please subscribe. We would love to have you guys come back, have a good time, continue on with this. We're working things out, like I mentioned earlier, about how this is going to move forward. As a show, we're working out some kinks here, but you may or may not see my face alone on here or with one of the other guys. We'll see what happens next week. I think we are reviewing The Bride is what's on our calendar. So yeah, we will anticipate that. And until next time, my friends, be good to each other.